there, everybody. My name is Meggie Price, and I am your Friday Back to Basics substitute vlogger. I'm going to let this video kind of just be an introduction to me, and then if I'm back here again in the future substitute vlogging, you'll know who I am and a little bit more about me. I live in Redwood City in a little tiny Victorian clapboard cottage with my husband, the love of my life, and our 3 cats and crazy doggy boy. Our 20-year-old son, or my 20-year-old son, lives in the trailer behind our house, and so is a big part of our lives as well. I had a series of accidents during my life that led me to the situation where I was morbidly obese, nearly in a wheelchair, and had become pretty much of a recluse. I had struggled with my weight pretty much all my life, but I was able to control it with activity. Well, once I'd had some accidents, I was no longer able to do that. So once I found out about weight loss surgery as an option, and once my doctor told me that I would end up in a wheelchair with an early death, I could not have that surgery fast enough. In fact, I made the decision in February of 2011, and within 3 months, on May 9th of 2011, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. I started my journey at 280 pounds. Whoops, sorry about that. And I followed all the rules. I mean, I would say that you could call me a rock star as far as weight loss surgery goes. For my doctor, I was his star patient. I followed all his rules, less than 30 net carbs a day, much more than 64 ounces of water a day. I first started walking very shortly after surgery, and within a few months, worked my way up to doing Zumba, uh, 11 or 12 times a week, and walking 3 miles every single day. I mean, I was going to do it, and I'm one of those people that when I figure out something, how to master something, I can master it. And really, having weight loss surgery and having the sleeve was no different than that for me. If I was going to do it, I was going to do it well. And I did. I lost 120 pounds, which was my goal, in just short of a year, about 11 months, and was working out a ton, had a ton of energy, felt better than I had in many, many years. It really was a wonderful, wonderful journey for me. I also did a video record of this journey, by the way, which you can find on YouTube under Meggie Price. The thing about it is I had, I think, kind of an unrealistic attitude about it. And that was, I mean, I would be online in the weight loss surgery community, and I would see people coming on, for example, in Back to Basics, talking about having regained some of their weight, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. And I'll be honest, I was very arrogant about that, and I was like, how could you do that? How could you go on this journey and have this amazing thing happen where you finally have the body you've always wanted to have, give or take a few extra sagging skin areas and wrinkles, where you can finally go in the stores and buy those clothes that you always wanted to fit in? How could you do that? That's just plain stupid. Well, hello, stupid. Because I have to admit that this past year I ended up on the corner of Regain and Stupid Avenues. I went to the edge of the Regain abyss, and I think that would be a good thing for me to talk to you all about, because I feel that I have figured out pretty much how to conquer that and keep it under control. What happened for me was, because of the economy, our cherished wedding photography business took a huge hit, and really we are essentially out of business. We still do a wedding here and there, but it's just not the same as it was. And I was forced to take a job outside the home for the first time in 12 years. That was very stressful. And the other thing was that because I had the time, with being a wedding photographer and being at home during the week, I had created a habit for myself of working out 3 to 5 hours a day. Because of that, I had a lot more leniency with carbs. I'm a carb sensitive person, but when you're working out like that, you need more carbs. So what happened at first when I started working outside the home is that once I could only do 1 or 2 hours of Zumba, for example, right there I was heading for problems. And so some of the habits I had created for myself with allowing myself some things like bread or things like that that normally would have been a problem for me started being a problem again, and I gained a little weight with that. Then there was the emotional stress of it, and the stresses and strains of some of the financial issues in my life, et cetera, yada yada yada, caused me to gain even more. And so after Christmas, this past Christmas, I found myself up 24 pounds, people. Yep, me. Stupid, according to me. It's not stupid, it's human. That's what it is. And let's face it, most of us who have had weight loss surgery have got issues about food and about comfort from food or emotional things from food that helped get us into the condition where we needed that surgery, or where surgery became the option that worked for us. And I thought that I had a handle on that, but that wasn't realistic. And I have to say right here and now that being part of the Transformation Academy, the part of Back to Basics where we have challenges, you know, so far we're about to start our third challenge. That really, really helped me and gave me some of the tools that I needed to get myself back from the edge, the regain abyss, and back on track again. I can't exactly say what it was that triggered it. I have to say that I started this last semester in Back to Basics, and I've been a teacher or team leader, each time, but my heart was not in it. I was faking it till I made it. I mean, I tried to be supportive to people, and I was there every day, but I wasn't following any rules. I was definitely eating crap. I was still eating Christmas cookies, for one thing. I made a bunch this year for my son, and I was still eating them, and I felt bad about myself. I didn't like looking at myself in the mirror at Zumba. I was really, really in a bad emotional place about it, and I really understood all of a sudden why people do find themselves regaining the weight. And oh man, that was scary. And for some reason, like, I had a kind of a come to Jesus meeting with myself, and said, you're too strong, and you're too knowledgeable about all this to let this happen. And not only that, but you are a teacher right now in the Back to Basics Academy, and you've got to be an example. You got to be there. How can you support these people? You'll be lying. So for some reason, I found it in myself. I found the strength in myself, and on January 7th of the challenge, and the challenge had started on the 1st, mind you, but it wasn't until the 7th that I really started going back to basics. And I had to sit down and have a real look. I had stopped logging my food, and that's huge. I had to have a real look at what had led me down this path towards regain, and what would save me, essentially. Now, for me, everybody's different, but I can't help but think that one of the rules that I follow that helped me lose the weight, and I did lose it, is no sugar. Sugar is a tremendous trigger for me, and probably for many of you. And I just find that I just can't even have a little of it. I really have to just not have things that have processed sugar in them. I have a little bit. I mean, obviously, I'm a Quest bar fan, so there's some sugar in there. But in general, I don't eat processed sugar. I don't allow myself bread because I love bread, I love toast, and that's a tremendous trigger for me. And the third thing that I discovered for myself, now this is probably very idiosyncratic of me in particular, I had to make a rule of not eating in the car, because what I would do is I would take safe snacks. Carter, my doggy boy, is pawing on me right now. I would take safe snacks in the car, but I would then eat them kind of mindlessly. I make dried peanut butter by spreading peanut butter on paper towels and then changing the paper towel every 2 or 3 times in the next few days, and it soaks off all the oil. But when you have a bag of dried peanut butter in the car, you can mindlessly eat 600 or 800 calories. So, in following those 3 rules and continue with my workouts and in availing myself of the tremendous support of the Transformation Academy, of Back to Basics, and of the online community in general, I did come back for the Regain Abyss. Well, I realize I'm over 10 minutes now, and so I really ought to say goodbye to you guys. But for my first video, I think maybe hope I've helped somebody who is in trouble or struggling. My message would be you can do it. You can lose the weight you regained, and you can feel good about yourself again, because I do, and I feel like I've learned a lot more about myself in the Transformation Academy, and I encourage all of you to maybe think about doing it this next coming semester. In any case, feel free to ask me questions or turn to me for help, because I'm here for all of you. So hopefully I'll be back soon if somebody else needs a substitute. Bye-bye, everybody.